Sensitivity is intelligence. With grace and skill, you have abundance. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. Host Kelly Brickle is a psychic medium, numerologist, healer, and teacher. Her passions are learning about the soul and energy. Whether through spirit, emotion, or vibrational numbers, there is always a pathway of information waiting to help. Now, here is your host of the Psychic Hour, Kelly Brickle.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to the Psychic Hour. I'm Kelly Brickle, and we have the interview show today. So we will be talking to Evidential psychic medium and also healer Jennifer Lee, and we'll be diving down into a bunch of different topics regarding energy healing, being a death doula, and the work that comes up as we go within and out within the world. So hello. Thank you everybody for coming on by, and pop down your questions like about life as we go and what we're talking about with the energy. We're not doing readings today, but we are talking about, what it means to have experiences in life within energy and psychic mediumship and healing. So we encourage your sharings. Hello, Michael Christopher. What's up? He's so funny. Always brings fun energy. Vivian, aloha. Hello. Jennifer, thank you. And everyone is from a different place around the world. So if you want to pop down where you're from, I appreciate it. I know we have people from England here. Vivian, are you from Hawaii? Is that why you're saying aloha? I have to remember that. And throughout the Midwest. Are we not spirit doulas too? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That would be a perfect question with how Jennifer looks at that. I would love to talk about that angle on things. I think we're all kind of helping each other come home, as they say. I think that we all have some type of gift or stability, grounding, abundance, insight, ease, however you call it, where we can help somebody come into themselves, whether it's passing, whether it's even birthing themselves or transforming themselves. So this all deals with the spirit, and we really do need another to help us open up. Now, another can mean so many different things, but we have to enact another part of ourselves in order to transform and continue the journey. We have to look to the opposite of what we once knew. And a lot of people, we're comfortable in life, but are we comfortable in death? And a lot of us, when we're used to being different and maybe comfortable with the awkwardness of life, what does it take then for us to engage and be around people and truly be ourselves and come into being around others and guiding others in what is deemed as normal life and bringing that side to others? So very, very interesting. Allison, evening love from Stroud, Gloucestershire, UK. Wow, that's never been to Stroud, Gloucester. I hope I'm saying that right. Gloucestershire. Honolulu, Hawaii. There we go. Hello, Vivian. Hello, Joni. Virginia Beach, Liverpool, England. Yes. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Polar Nights. Good evening from North Norway. Oh, that's lovely. Hello. And Season from BC, British Columbia, Canada. I love hearing where everyone's from. I'm from Orange County, California in the United States, where I'm broadcasting. And what a treat, right? We have so many different perspectives in the world. So with that said, in just a moment, I'm going to bring Jennifer right on in, but I encourage you to really meet the opposite side of life, whether that is a person that helps bring that side out within you and to explore that a little bit, or yourself taking a risk, but a healthy risk, taking a leap of faith, something that's deep within your heart, or something that you know is going to help you to enact the other part of yourself to integrate. Whatever that is, I wish you luck, and I am just opening up the space to think about it with you. Hello, Lynn. Hello. It's always great to see Lynn. Hello. And then, yay, Orange County. Absolutely. I'm going to bring in Jennifer Lee. So with a warm welcome, please say hello to her. Hello.
Hello. Hi, Kelly.
Hey,
I see
Jennifer.
familiar faces on here. There's Joni, Lisa. I see Season Mama Bear, Polar Nights. So I was going to scroll back up, but I just wanted to say hello. I wanted to acknowledge everybody for being here. Thanks for having me, Kelly.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. I know that there's going to be wonderful discussion in turn. I love your energy. So Season Mama Bear. Hi, Jennifer. Your people are in the
there's
house.
Michael.
There's the troublemaker.
There's
Michael. Exactly. He's the troublemaker. He's just looking at his own energy as he types.
Right. We're a mirror. Remember that, Michael. Hello, Jennifer. Hi, Joni. I'm glad you found us, Vivian. Hello.
Vivian, how to switch pages. Yes. And then Jennifer McCormick, everyone's giving the love. Hello. So I want to introduce you for those who know you. Many people do right now, but for those who are first learning about you, Jennifer Lee is an evidential medium residing in northeastern Utah. As a medium, Jennifer specializes in providing clear, specific, and validating connections as loved ones in spirit come forth. Her work is rooted in delivering accurate, meaningful evidence to demonstrate the continuity of life beyond the physical world. With over 9 years of professional experience, Jennifer has been honored to help clients find healing, comfort, and clarity through private sessions, group readings, and special events. In addition to her mediumship, Jennifer is able to tap an energy around a person, place, or thing and provide insight. She is a certified death doula, energy healer, remote viewer, cold case reviewer, and paranormal investigator. She's appeared on many podcasts as a guest and radio shows, and has her own Spiritually Imperfects with Michael Christopher. Yes. And she loves sharing her experience working with the spirit world and demonstrating her gift. Jennifer believes that we all have the ability to connect with spirit and enjoys teaching others how to access this for themselves. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thank you, Kelly. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, one of the first things that I went, whoa, I didn't know that, was you're a death doula. And can you explain what that is and what you do for people?
Yeah, so there's a little backstory to that I want to tell you about, though. This is something that is very interesting to find myself doing, right? Because I've always been uncomfortable with the thought of the physical death process. From the time I was small, it scared me. The other side of death never scared me because I just intuitively knew that it was still life. I knew it from, it confused me. The two of them confused me. But the thought of the actual physical death of the body terrified me. It scared me. I was never comfortable with it. So I find myself years later, I find myself with a good friend of mine as her mom is transitioning. Somehow I find myself physically there and terrified, but I just kind of intuitively understood what was needed. Like in that moment, I just kind of understood it. I was still scared of it, though. I will tell you, I went home and I actually told my mom, I feel bad about this, but we giggle about it now. But I did. I went home. I said, never again. Like, I'm sorry, Mom, you are on your own. Like, I told her straight up. I told her. I just kind of laughed about it. I said, it's got to be one of the siblings, but I can't do this. I can't do it. it was that hard for me. It was really hard, but I learned later it's because I was focusing my energy. I was focusing on I shouldn't say the wrong thing, but I was focusing my energy on the negative aspects of what was happening. And I wasn't, I was just focusing on the sadness and the grief and what I was feeling there. So I shifted my focus. But that also happened in an interesting way. I found myself being offered a position at a nursing home, an administrative position. And I thought, oh, surely I can't do this. I can't do this.
Yeah.
But I took the position. And something beautiful started happening. I started understanding in a very intuitive manner when one of the residents was going to pass, and it wasn't anything physical that they were going through. I just knew. My first instance of that was being in a hurry one day. I was late for work. I was walking down the hall. I was ready to leave. And I walked by a resident's door and I stopped. I just full on stopped. And I thought, I'm going to go back and I'm going to read to her tonight. I'm going to read to her right now. I was running late. I needed to get out of there. But something stopped me and said, no, Jen, you need to read to her. And so I went in and I sat with her and I read to her like I would do. And then she passed. Like that night, she passed. And I remember feeling so grateful. Oh my gosh, thank you for that prompt. Thank you for stopping me. Thank you for allowing me to sit with her and read her Bible, because that's what she liked me to read to her. Right. And then hindsight was saying, wow, because I knew exactly what we had read in the Bible. I knew the passages, right? And I knew how powerful they were. Hindsight told me. So that triggered something in me. And I found myself, that would happen over and over and over again. That would happen on days off. I would have that knowing, and I would go into work and I would go and I would sit with the person. I would just sit with them. And they would pass. I began to have this intuitive knowing, and just kind of knowing I'm going to go and sit with them. I'm just going to hold space with them. And so it kind of came across naturally. And that's when I started to see. That's when I started to understand that the death process itself is not that scary, because I began to tap into what happens before and the beautiful energy that's coming through. So then as I went along this spiritual journey, I started kind of tying the two of those together. So it's only been about 3 years that I've actually been offering this as a service. But
So
it's interesting how it happened.
how did then, with being a death doula, did you have any prior experiences with feeling energy, with knowing?
Oh, sure. I'd been doing mediumship for years before I offered this as a service.
Death doula for 3 years.
Yes.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
So before that, I should say that's when I got a certification, and that's when I thought I'm going to start offering this as a service. So, but like I said, I've been intuitively doing it for a very long time. I just didn't even really know it. I didn't even really know what I was doing. It just happened, it just came together, and I was like, what is this? And I didn't know what a death doula was either. That's how I found out, in like, what is happening to me? How am I knowing about these people? How am I knowing what they're needing in that moment? How do I know this? How am I coming off vacation to go and see somebody? Like the knowing and the going to sit and hold space. Sometimes that would be just playing their favorite song, just whatever. But there was just this knowing. So I've been doing it. It just didn't have a name. Just didn't have a name for me until I discovered it myself.
Yeah. So if I may ask, like, how is it then integrated within hospice? Do you come in with the nurses? Do you communicate with them with what the patient needs or what the person needs? I'm curious more.
Yeah. So it really is about holding space, and it's about being a support. Emotionally, spiritually, and practically. And so it does involve some of that. It involves making sure that your client's wishes are met. having those really raw conversations about what do you want things to look like for you, and helping them, helping manifest those, helping those things come to fruition for them, because it is their journey. They get to choose, they get to have a say. And those are conversations a lot of times that either the person that is in transition is struggling to talk to their loved ones about, or their loved ones are struggling to have that conversation. So it's just really being the person in the middle. Sometimes it's not even about having hard conversations. It's just about laughing. It's about turning on some music and laughing. There's a lot of storytelling. There's a lot of revisiting the past, which is always, always so beautiful. There's about legacy projects is something that you can help with. Are you working on a project that you want to finish? Is there somebody you want to write a letter to? Do you want to record a story? Whatever they feel like they want to do. It's just about supporting them in the harder aspects of that, them and their loved ones. It really is, you talked earlier about we're just walking each other home. Mr. Ram Dass, that's one of my very, very favorite quotes. We are all just walking each other home. And really, that's what the death doula's role is. It's to walk alongside. It's not to lead. It is not to anything. It's just to walk alongside and be there as this kind of in-between party for whatever they might need. Just really whatever that is. I find myself, I don't have a lot of long-term clients. I find myself, and I mean that when I say that, I mean somebody that is, this is obviously for somebody that understands that they are going to be passing soon, or their family does, right? So we look at long-term illnesses or accidents that have only one outcome, right? So we're looking at things like that. So this could go on for a couple of years, but usually what I get is people that are calling like towards the end of the physical life. And then that's where I step in, because another big part of this is sitting vigil. It's sitting vigil with families, and it's holding space for those very intimate last moments, the last breaths, the last conversations. And as a medium, I'm able to bring a little bit more to that. I'm able to if the person that is passing, they're in this altered state. And so a lot of conversations and messages pass in that moment. Very beautiful things happen in that moment. Of course, we know we are all surrounded and guided by loved ones and ancestors. You will feel them just come into the room. Some of them will speak. They will have things to say to family members, and it is so beautiful. So usually that's where I am called in, is in the last days or moments.
Last days or moments.
Yeah.
So do you find yourself applying like energy healing or even mediumship at times? Is it just whatever naturally happens? Or is it just I'm in this role of death doula and like I am making people feel comfortable and I'm not putting anything else into the mix?
I'm not putting anything else into the mix unless we are sitting vigil and I'm invited to do so. It's really not about me reading. It's really about holding space, which is just that. It's really whatever the client is needing in that moment. That's not for me to decide. That's not for me to choose. I'm just to walk alongside them. So I do not bring a lot of that in, again, unless I am invited to bring that in. Of course, I do some energy work, with my clients when they ask, and with their loved ones when I'm invited in to do that. But I really kind of look at that as separate from the death doula role, because that is about holding space, which is just
truly.
Yeah.
Truly, someone up top said, speaking of that, Vivian, are we not spirit doulas too? What is your perspective on that? I love the way she phrased that.
I'm not sure what she means by a spirit doula. Did you call me a spirit doula? Like, I'm like, it's an
I referenced that you're a death doula, and then she's like,
yes,
"Are we not spirit doulas
yes,
too?" Like,
okay.
and then your reference just now is we're holding space for people.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
how would you kind of
So,
liken that to just the different areas of
so
how we hold space?
yeah. So the answer to that is, of course, we all are, right. We all, Kelly said it earlier, we all have access to spirit. We can all hold space for each other. We can all walk each other home. That's what we're doing every single day. Every single one of us have that ability. Every single one of us have that light inside of us. So absolutely, you are. We are. I just
Absolutely.
it just we just choose to use those abilities in different ways, and this is just one of those ways that I choose to use mine. I never quite understood why I actually chose to do that. I have 3 clients now, and 2 of them, well, one's not even a client, but 2 of them are long term. One happens to be my father. This will make me emotional. So I do understand. I look back and I'm like, okay, this is why I have chosen this path. Because this right now, walking my father home, is the most important work we will ever do, right? Is walking our loved ones home and holding space for them in that moment. So, and that moment can be years, it can be days, it can be months, it can be moments. So yeah, when I look back on the journey of this, because even my mom goes, "What are you doing?" She goes, "You don't like people that are dying. Like, you can't be around people that are dying. It's very hard for you." I'm like, "I don't know, Mom. I'm super just, I don't know. Something has shifted, right?" Um, and now years later, I come to understand. This is why you walked this path. Um, my father, just a really quick story about my dad. He started to walk his cancer journey alone. He left the entire family out of it. He did not let us in. We knew he was going to appointments, but it was like pulling teeth to get an answer from him. Like, what's going on? He was walking the journey alone because he didn't, for whatever reason, right? He didn't want to be a burden. He didn't want to worry us. He didn't want to do, all of this stuff. So he was walking his journey alone. And of course, my sisters were always on the phone yapping about it. And so came to have coffee with me one day. And I thought, Jen, you know how to do this. Spirit prompted me, you know this. And so I flat out asked him the question. I said, Dad, can I take you to your next appointment? I didn't ask him if he needed me to, because that answer would have been no, he didn't need anything, right? Because that's how we feel when we are feeling vulnerable and we are feeling afraid. Sometimes we just want to do it alone. I didn't ask him if he needed me or he wanted me to go. I just asked him if I could go. Dad, can I go with you? Which kicked off this beautiful, he did. He said yes. And so I've been walking this journey with him now, taking him to his appointments, and we're having the conversations. I'm understanding him now in a way I never understood him before. I'm understanding spirit even in a way I never understood before. Yes, we all do. Like, we know his love for, you're right, Mike.
Oh, there's
He has a character. And he
that's a
keeps me on
story.
my toes.
The story he's referencing. Yeah, it allows things to happen,
Yes.
experiences to happen that you would never have access to.
Oh,
And that's
absolutely.
so profound the way you said that. It's not about do you need it? It's not about do you want it? It's about can I do
Can I,
this with you?
yes, can I walk with you? That was it. And
Yeah.
literally, that is exactly how that first visit went. I mean, exactly. I told him, look, I'm just going to walk in with you. I don't have to go in the doctor's office with you. I just want to walk in with you. I just want to sit here with you. I mean, it ended up where, yes, he let me go in, and now he won't go without me, which is great. Right?
It says, yeah. I mean, you're
But
doing it. He's doing it. You're doing it
yes,
together. That's amazing.
yes,
That's so much
but it
peace.
has to be his
Yeah.
choice. It has
Right.
to be his choice. And that is the same with any of us, anyone that is going through this, right? When we are transitioning, it gets to be our choice. It is our journey. There are others that can walk with us. They cannot do it for us. But they can definitely walk with us and they can hold space for us in whatever way that looks like, and whatever way the person that is transitioning is comfortable with. That is the role of the death doula right there, really. I mean, in a nutshell, that's it.
I think that's amazing. I think that, yeah, we go through these different stages within life. And if we are terminal, or if we are, going through the different motions of appointments, we're going to come into different parts of ourselves. And we might go, this is my journey. Yes, but does it have to be alone? Not necessarily. So yeah, it's incredible. It really is, to not feel alone during this time, or even scary times in general within life. So it's a huge asset to be a death doula. Huge
So I'm
asset.
learning. I'm also learning. I'm getting feedback. Are you guys getting feedback?
I'm not getting feedback over here. Do you have a window open, even if it's very quiet?
No. Okay, well, we'll just keep going. I just wondered
I
if
heard a little something, but it's very faint, but it's not on my end, so we're okay.
Okay, perfect. So one thing that I am learning too is that, the journey, it's not the transition journey. It doesn't have to be all about sadness and deep talks and deep spiritual talks all the time. Best parts of the journey is laughing. Like, it's laughing. Really, it's finding something in that moment that we can laugh about. It's even laughing about parts of the journey, right? It's just being able to just flow with it. So yeah, it's not all about just having hard conversations. It's not it. And I'll be honest with you, I talk with my clients more about life. They talk more about life than we talk about death. They just do, right? Because that's really what it is. And so it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And it's a good reminder for me about life.
I think so.
Yeah.
And having fun with cosmic jokes, right? As they present themselves. Really, really living through that. I think I want to also go up top to what Jennifer shared with us. She said, working in a residential home from a young age prepped me for where I am today. I could never decide if I wanted to work with children or the elderly. I thought I chose elderly, and after 7 years, I became a carer to my disabled sons, being on a spiritual journey for 18 years. I feel like I've lived multiple lives in this lifetime. I feel like I lived multiple lives in this sentence, but it's the essence of it. I mean, you go through so many layers of learning who you are, and I'm sure the other person is you're mirroring what the other person is, kind of like their life is going, in these motions of awareness and coming to themselves in a completely different way than it ever has. Sure, it's mostly, like laughter if we can, or living
Right.
life, but there's these moments.
Oh, absolutely. And those moments they're life-changing. I mean, they are.
And she's laughing. She's like laughing. She's like, yeah. She's like, for sure. Allison, making others smile is life-changing. It is.
It's good medicine. Like, laughter is such good medicine. We forget about it sometimes. I feel like when we're on our healing journeys, we feel like everything has to be deep, and we have to we got to meditate for all of these hours, and we have to do this deep diving shadow work. You know what? Go laugh. I promise you, it can be one of the most healing things. It's just bring that laughter back into life. Just bring it back into who you are. Just remember it, right? Just remember how good it feels to genuinely laugh. It's really good medicine.
It is. Kind of, Suri was saying the cosmic joke. There's a saying. So Michael Tamura, he was a spiritual teacher and an intuitive, and he would say to his students, "Smile, you're on cosmic camera." Like, loosen up. You know what I mean? Like, loosen. If you're doing it where you're just so serious and you're so glum and the world is just so heavy, you know, just you're always being invited to just enjoy. And the joke of it is, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be that way. Smile, like.
Which we were just talking about, Kelly, which is why I'm doing the thing I'm doing tomorrow.
Yeah. Would you like to share any part of that? Would you like to share any part of that? You can tell that story in many different ways.
I don't mind. I mean, I'm going to go do card pulls. I'm going to go do card pulls at at my daughter's shop. It's their 1-year anniversary on Saturday, and she does own an adult novelty and gag gift store. So I have some special cards chosen, and that really, we're just going to lighten it up. We're not going to do heavy reads. I want to bring out the slightly inappropriate or maybe all the way inappropriate cards. Yes, Michael, at the naughty store, and we're going to laugh. I'm just going to pull fun cards and we're going to laugh. Hop on your bike. Grab Sheila. Come on.
Well, that's just, even that put like that, that's just a massive tease. People are going to be like, I want a card pull. I want a card pull. But that is so fun. The concept is so fun to get people looking at life like that, not just what's my relationship, right? And, it's, yeah, sure, we'll pull a relationship card, but it's completely different.
We're just going to have fun with it. Yes, Michael.
Nice store. It's great.
I might have some new props, Michael, but they are not going to come from there.
That's a whole different type of energy. My patients say thank you for reminding me of all the fun memories I've had in this life as I lie here dying. Oh gosh. Yes. We have to share it. We have to share it. My Michael Christopher, will you? Okay, you're reading the things that, yeah, you've already read that. I've done end of life with my non, and I would cover myself in bubbles and pop my head out of the shower room. And she said,
where would we?
Would be with our Allison. That's hilarious.
I love that. See, that's it. It's making those memories. Those things they're priceless. Hello, Crystal.
Hello, Crystal. Hello. If I may ask too, so we were talking earlier about the different ways to invite energy healing in. Of course, those are going to come up through your work as being a death doula and a medium, but it's not just one way. It's different types of things that we find ourselves using, different tools. And you have so many different tools and backgrounds of how you work with energy, relate to energy. So what has been changing for you as you've been doing more death doula work, or just within your own life with new energy streams? And how has that been healing?
It's always a journey, right? And it's always healing. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it in the moment though, right? Sometimes it's just like, what is happening? Energy changes around me often. I'll feel when it shifts. So I don't know. That's kind of a long question. There's a lot of different parts to it. So I'm going to start. I'm going to take it one part at a time. So the way that I feel energy and I work with energy, I work with it in my everyday life. I think, well, we all do. We may not realize it, but we work with it in our everyday life, right? I have a regular job. When I walk in the door, when I walk in the door, I can feel the energy, and my energy has to shift and adapt to what I'm doing in that moment. When I'm talking to certain people, my energy has to shift, right, and adapt for that place and that time or that person. We use that energy every day. We feel every day. It keeps us safe. Our intuition keeps us safe. We might feel, do I want to go in there? Like, you know what? And we might just walk on by. There's just little things. So we use it every single day. I use it every single day. Now I have a heightened awareness. So sometimes I dig in a little bit deeper, but generally, then I shift when I work. When I come to work with energy outside of my everyday life, there is just a shift. So we'll use it for clearing. I'll go in and clear buildings sometimes. I'll go into people's homes, move energy in their homes. I'll read their homes. We can kind of find out what's going on there, because you can walk into a space, you can feel all of the energy in the space, and you can read what has happened past, what is going on now, just as you can a person. So I use that a lot. I use it to move energy with people. I do a modality called Amadeus. It's a shamanic form of energy healing. It's very similar to Reiki. It's just kind of different symbols.
Never heard of it. I've never heard of it.
It's the breath of God. Amadeus means the breath of God. And so
wow.
It really is, yes, it's beautiful. It really is just breathing in, like just taking in divine energy and holding it, and then like holding it within, and then passing that energy forward. It is just a form. It's a form of love. It's just this divine love energy is really what it is. It's, yes, our intuition, definitely, it keeps us safe. So there's all different ways, right? And then there's the psychic readings, which uses we go into a different energy field a little bit than we do when we go into full mediumship. So I know there's, yeah, that's a big question.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's a big question with a lot of answers.
It's a big question with a lot of answers, yes.
Depending on where you're using it, right?
Sometimes I just like to see what naturally unfurls. I'm like, hey, how's it, your energy been flowing with the things that you know, and also the things that you're coming into. And intuition takes us so many different places. So like, what are your favorite ways to connect, if I may ask at this moment, kind of within your work?
Within my work, so my first love will always be mediumship. It just will. I'm very, very drawn to the human soul, to the connection that brings, and that really is like the heart of my work, and that's where my passion is. So if you're asking me what my favorite or my strength of my work is, that's the core of all of the work that I do, is that connection.
Favor or strength, or both? Usually our strengths can be our favorite. Sure. Yeah. I just find it so interesting, because like, you are an energy healer and you're using things from the Amadeus method, and I haven't heard about that, even though it's similar. And then you just might use completely different techniques, than maybe I even know of with mediumship. So
it's all the same. Like, for me, it's all the same. It really is. It's all the same. It's shifting your awareness. It's opening your heart, and it's opening your mind, and it's just shifting your awareness. It's just, it really is. It's just shifting into that mode of whatever whatever work you're going into. Yeah, it really is the same.
Shifting our awareness and like almost netting in the gorgeousness of what the awareness provides us. We're not doing readings today, Bernadette, but you can ask questions about what we are talking about on topic. Hi, Jess, and hi, Michael Zinn. Want to make sure I say hi to Michael Zinn. Hello. Suri says, and hello, Suri, by the way. When you boil it down, it's all the same. Yes. I think that we're just living, breathing energy, expressing ourselves. And
yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's why I say there's really no difference. It's all the same. And it can be different in maybe a ritual that you do. I know that there's some energy healers that have, there are rituals that they do beforehand. That can certainly look different for everybody. But really, it's just once you just shift your awareness, and this is where I'm going to go, and this is what I want to access, and this is what I want to share. It's there.
I think it's Michelle. Michelle says, where can one learn more about the Amadeus method you've mentioned?
Yeah. So you know what? Start with Google. And it's 2 words. It's Ama, and then it's capital DEUS. So that's what I would do. Start with Google. It's kind of hard to find stuff on it, to be honest. If you have ChatGPT, maybe check there. I just happened to stumble across it because it was something I was kind of doing intuitively. I know Michael Christopher does this too, just kind of moves energy intuitively. And I wanted to learn more about it, right? So I started kind of Googling, and that kind of came the closest to what I was actually just doing naturally. And so I wanted to kind of deep dive into it. And so I did end up taking, tend to end up taking class on it, a very long class actually. But yeah, Google it and see. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. And the history behind it is very fascinating as well.
It's always great to learn about different types because there's so many out there. And I'm like, oh, didn't hear of that one. Haven't heard of this one. Michelle says, thank you. So can I take it back all the way? I'm really curious. Yeah. So we talked about kind of what's going on now, how you work, you helping to facilitate space for others as a death doula. And that's been really, really fascinating to hear from a personal perspective too, as well. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah. You've been doing this for 3 years with the death doula portion, but you've been doing mediumship much longer. And I want to know kind of how you came into being okay or even feeling that side of life. I always like to go into what made you go, I'm a medium, and go, oh yeah, I definitely am a medium.
Okay, well, first of all, I thought I was going crazy. Okay, I'm not even going to lie. Before I said I'm a medium, I just kind of went, what the hell is happening to me? Like, it really did. It came on very quickly. Now, hindsight tells me, I can look back and be like, oh, okay, now I understand what was going on there, right? But the full-on mediumship part of it, the first message I ever got blew my mind. It was very clear, and it was right there. And I honestly went to somebody and said, okay, I have gone completely crazy. I'm crazy. This is what's happening. So I really did. It took a long time. It took me a while. And then I thought, I'm not, like, this is what's happening. And the more I could start validating, I didn't tell anyone right away. I just was like, I didn't go announcing it. I started going, okay, now I have to kind of do some research. Like, what was this? But the day I got a very, very personal message for me, I knew exactly what was going on. And that's the day I started saying, okay, pay attention. Because there is no way for this. There is no other way than you are connecting.
Yeah.
You're connecting to spirit. There's no other way for this information to come to me and to be so personal. And that's when I really just heard pay attention, like start paying attention. And so I did. I started paying attention. And the first message I ever passed on, I swear to you, this is how spirit tested me. They sent me a message and I was like, nope. Flat out said, nope, I'm not contacting this person. I'm not doing it. I refuse. I wrote it down. I said, I acknowledge you, but I am not doing it. Not this person. I'm not contacting them. I'm not doing it. Like, they're going to think I've lost my mind, and I'm not doing it. All day long, it was just, and this is something you learn to manage though, right? As after you learn what's going on. But I didn't know how to
In
manage
various ways. There's always, I would
it.
say there's always new things happening where you go, oh,
Right?
and this angle on it, okay.
It was, but it was all day long. All
Yeah, some of that.
no, Michael. It involved an ex.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay, it involved like a guy I had gone on a date with. And the last thing that I wanted to do was like message him 10 years later and be like, oh, hey, so
I was thinking just the other day.
like super awkward. But this message kept coming in for him. And it was so clear. And I just kept saying, I'm absolutely not doing it. Not doing it.
Wow.
Well, I did, because it wouldn't go away. And I said, okay. So I sent this guy a paragraph basically apologizing for being born and being weird. But this is what was happening. And if he would like, and if he was open to hear more, just to let me know, right? That's literally how that went down. And I felt so ridiculous. And then he sent me a message back and he said, very cool. Like I would love to know. And so I told him, and he was just blown away. He was blown away. It was something that he really, really needed to hear. And so I was like, okay, we can do this, but just don't be sending me like things for ex-boyfriends anymore. Like, can we not do this? This is weird. Like, can we not do it that way? Just teach me. But not
yeah. If we're really, really unconventional, and our personality will get things very unconventionally for others. But then you'll be like, "This is my new boundary. This is my new respect."
Yeah, I was like, okay, I did it, but we're not doing that again. Like that, I have the faith, I have the knowing, but can we do it a different way?
Can we do it a different way? It's possible, right? It is possible.
Yes.
I want to say hi to Nancy. Hello, Nancy, and Maria.
Hi, Maria.
And Dominic. Yes, Nancy. I love Nancy so much, and Maria too. They're just such wonderful, wonderful people. And Surrey, the sweet insanity of waking up. Thank you for doing it. Because I think a lot of people have a mixture of experiences, and some of them are very much already, I'm here in a spiritual class, or I've intended to be spiritual. So, wow, it's working. And then so many other people are, sure, I'm curious, but as this is happening, this is literally crumbling my reality of how I've been taught to even assess what I'm doing in the first place. So am I just going insane? And I don't think that's always talked about enough. Sometimes it is, and sometimes it isn't. It's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. And yes.
Well, and it happened for me. Hi, Brenda. It happened for me in the middle of, as it does for a lot of people, right? Right in the middle of trauma, right in the middle of this full-blown PTSD shit, quite honestly, that I was dealing with in the moment. And so I really did think that I was crazy. I really honestly did. So there was that. I was like, okay, we're done here. I'm officially cracked.
I do think that for a lot of people, they come into their spirituality through trauma, whether it's a little bit or a lot of it. They're like, I don't feel like myself anymore, or there's something else coming into my awareness that now I can't help but change. And it will make you feel very, very uncomfortable. And you have to start building your own equilibrium for something maybe that no one can help do that for you or hold space for you. And you might have to do that alone. Yeah. And so even more so, I have to learn how to trust myself, but the only person experiencing these things is me. So what is reality?
Right. Yeah, I was in that space for a very long time. I did learn alone. I did carry it alone. I didn't let a lot of people know, right? I learned about it the best that I could. And I worked with it. And then I was like, okay, so this is happening. And so, I would reach out to a few people I knew. Hey, can I try this? Can we do a reading? Like, something weird is happening. I want to feel into this more. That's how I learned. That's really how I learned. And then, of course, after that, right, I took some classes. I read a lot of books. I met Michael Christopher, like all sorts of things, right?
Got a show.
It's been many, many years, but
all the pieces came together. Let's see. My poor folks wanted me to be a physics teacher, but I had to walk my own path. I utilized physics with spirit communication. That's
I
really
love
cool.
that. That is cool.
That's a thing. Non-local physics, quantum physics,
Oh, that's
energy. Absolutely.
very cool.
I do think like there's just so many scientific crossovers, but we necessarily don't even know that until our brain wants to look at that side of life, because energy, I think, just can be expressed and understood in so many different pockets. With mediumship, and then also with psychic energy, like one of the things that you do with psychic investigation and paranormal investigation, as well as sensing energy around people, how did that come into as well?
That just kind of came as a package. I'm not even kidding. Like, when I tell you that all of this just kind of boom, it really did. But then again, hindsight tells me, right? So when I was younger, I can tell you that we had an old building on our place. It was like this old cabin, and I always wanted to go over there. I would always find myself over there. I would play in there. I would talk to the people that lived there. I could feel the energy in there. I could tell memories of that place. I could go home and say what had happened in there. And so I could do it from a very young child. Like,
It's very natural for you.
energy in rooms or buildings or places. Oh, my mother can tell you how many times I just would randomly start rearranging things, how I would want to change my room. But I was moving the energy. It was in the energy, right? I was moving it. So I just always kind of had a feel for that. So when everything opened, it'd start going into places. And if I paid attention, the place would talk. It would tell me stories. I could tell you what had happened there. I've walked into homes and asked what happened behind this photo. Why is this photo here? They can move the photo. There's a hole in the wall, right? The house, because everything is energy. It can absorb the energy. It can tell stories. Structures can tell us stories. That's just something I've intuitively always known. And it just kind of opened up when everything else did. I was like, okay, they do talk. Inanimate things do talk to me. They do.
Yeah, I would say that's incredible, because that's a completely different gift. Energy provides so many different ways to be used. And like, I'm very sensitive to stepping into energy of spaces, but not necessarily I'll get like the history of a place unless I kind of go, let me kind of just open up the mind a little bit.
Right.
But it sounds like that was very natural for you. And also things like objects, I definitely don't connect to like that. Yeah, no, me and objects, I'll just be like,
I love psychometry.
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Psychometry.
That's the one thing in psychic class where I'm just like, I just maybe we'll get something. I just no energy for me with psychometry. So I love hearing. So we talked about kind of the beginning of the episode, learn your opposites. So that is the opposite energy of me. Teach me about that. Yes, please.
So I love psychometry. I like to go to like secondhand stores and things. I like to look at the objects. I like to feel them. I've had experiences with psychometry. There are some people, when they come to see me, they will bring something to me. And that's when I first realized, oh, wow, I'm reading. Okay, I get it. Like, I can feel it in the object. But generally, if somebody hands me an object, I know especially if it has significance, has been passed on from a loved one in spirit. I can hold it and almost immediately know the connection where
Wow.
it belonged. And it will, Michael knows.
Secondhand haunted
And I
office.
love it. I love it. It's not that it's haunted, but they do hold energy. They can tell
Yeah.
stories. They
Yeah.
really can.
No, for real. Like, sometimes I don't do so there's some things I really appreciate secondhand for, but for other things I'll be like, I don't want anyone's energy on it. So I
Yeah.
can feel it, but maybe I can't contextually go through all those layers like you can and connect. I just go,
It doesn't
something's
feel
not
right.
good on this. I don't like, no, I don't want that other person.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
but
if
that
there's
is
something on
feeling.
it.
Yeah, that is feeling and picking up the energy. And I do that. I do that a lot. Like so I don't just go around touching objects and suddenly know all of the history. Again, it's just like with mediumship or like that would drive me insane, or psychic. I have to open my awareness to it. I have to want to, you know.
Yes.
Otherwise, oh my God, can you imagine? Like you would
Yes.
just go around. No. So it's not like that. It's not like I can just hold something and start. No, you have to open your awareness to it. You have to be, you have to want to receive the information. But it's just like
Yeah.
you said, you can feel something and be like, if you want to dive deeper, you can. I guarantee you can.
I do think that's really the large part of it. We have to naturally want to do what we're doing
Yeah,
or have the curiosity. Even if we're scared, there's a part of us that wanted to help. There's a part of us that wanted to
right,
learn. There's a part of us that wanted to connect. And our energy went, okay, this feels like there's something in this for us.
right.
Because I do think a lot of times people are like, oh, I didn't want this. Why did this happen? Or I feel a spirit, or I got this from, an experience. And it's like a part of us wanted to open up that side to ourselves or to experience that. A part of
Yeah,
us did want it. And when we're mature enough and we are connected enough to who we want to be, we go, okay, yes, now I'm really wanting to work with this energy and become
right.
this.
Well,
Um,
and I think that happens to a lot of us as those gifts develop. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that you can do, and so many things that we have the ability to do. Every single person. Like, I'm not just talking about me or mediums. I'm just saying everyone. So when mediumship and psychic opened up for me, oh wow, ooh, I could do this. I could do this. I could do this. Right. And I
can
spread
do
myself
that.
thin. Right. And I spread myself really thin, digging into the different things that I could do with it. One of those things I spent a lot of time doing was paranormal investigating. I did that for some years, but that's something I do it more for fun now. Like whenever I go with Michael and his wife, sometimes every couple of years or something, we go have a vacation. We like to go check out places. But that's not really like, the investigating with the teams and all the equipment and all of that. I did my time there and I didn't really love it. It was one of those things that I just kind of phased out. It just didn't, I learned about it. It just didn't speak to me. So that's really one of the things that I just really don't do a lot of anymore. Now I will always go to somebody's home that is local if somebody is having problems, if there's something going on in their home. I'll go. Of course I'll go, especially if there are children involved and they're saying, my kids aren't sleeping. There's this, there's that. Of course I will go. And I promise you, 99.9% of the time, it's something else in the energy. It's not a spirit energy, an intelligent spirit energy haunting the home. It's something else. And it's something that we can, again, we go back to the different ways we can help, something that we can just move, right? We can kind of move this energy. We can make space for some new energy to come in and a lot of different things. So that's kind of the way that I take it on that side now. But as far as going and doing buildings and big locations and teams, I did that I did that till I burned out on it.
Yes, I think, well, it's a good point that you mentioned too. Like earlier, just a moment ago, you said, it's not normally something like with spirit, it's other things like you can move energy, move furniture, understanding the energy that's there. And I do think most times for investigations, you are dealing with psychic energy. You're dealing with energy that's there, not energy on the other side.
Oh, absolutely. We carry energy with us everywhere we go. We pick up energy. We are energy, right? And you can walk into a space, and be like, ooh, this feels weird. I don't know if I want to be here. Like
Yeah.
you feel it. That's not because there's intelligent spirit energy there haunting this space most of the time. It's residual energy. It's yucky energy. It's just there. And so we have to energetic house clean the same way that we clean houses. We can't forget the energetic house cleaning, because energy builds, it becomes stagnant, it attracts more like energy. If you had an argument in your home, or you had something very highly charged happen in your home, either negative or positive, that energy is going to stay. It's going to stay. Somebody can walk in and they'll know, ooh, somebody just had an argument. You feel it in the energy. Or you walk in and you immediately feel like, oh, right, this feels so
Right.
good.
If I
That's
may ask, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
should say that's not spirit energy. That's just the nature of energy.
That's the nature of energy. And the spirits that have passed, they were once human. So there's so much that was from them. But even with just the living, active with the living, because you're so kind of tuned into the energy of spaces. If someone has an argument, let's say in a room, how long does it take to dissipate? I know it's different for every situation, but
Yeah, that's really hard
what
to
have you
say.
noticed?
That's so hard to say because it depends on so many things. What's the
Right,
energy in the home before that? Is it just
right.
gonna is it just gonna blend in with the rest of all the arguments you had before? Or is this a one-time thing? And we can just move that energy out. So that's really such a broad question when it comes to spaces.
The way that you are thinking through that question actually does answer the question, though, because
Some
I
people
love it.
can
You're like, go ahead. Yeah.
sometimes it just moves out. It just moves out, but it really is dependent on so many factors.
Yes. Yes. But I love how you're saying, was this a one-time deal? What was the energy of the home like before?
That all
Just the intensity of what that was
Yeah.
and is. I love it. So, if I may ask, so what things would you like to let people know that you're doing currently now, if they can come find you, whether it's for readings or a demonstration? You're doing the event tomorrow, did you say, or this weekend? It's
Or
tomorrow?
Saturday, yes. No,
Saturday, excuse me, Saturday.
I'm used to being on here on Friday, so I'm like, yeah, it's tomorrow.
I was like,
Yeah,
oh wow, it's a Thursday.
right.
It's a Thursday thing.
Yeah. So Jennifer, you can feel it right away.
Yes.
Yeah, you just
Yes.
feel it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What if since Jennifer is helping to like kind of stir the pot on this a little bit, Jennifer Andrews, with her comments, what does it feel like, or how do you interpret, like, what's your experience when you walk into a place and it just feels like dense and compressed?
What is my experience? I don't want to
Yeah.
get I guess I'm not sure what you're asking. If it feels dense and depressed.
Because compressed. Because
Okay.
Jennifer's talking about like sometimes it feels thick or soupy, like,
Right.
and I'm like, sometimes it feels dense, or you can actually feel it pushing on your body. Like,
Yes.
what different sensations do you get that let you know about
Okay. Do
different
you want to
moods?
know? It's going to sound so weird. I feel
No, I
very,
love
very,
it. Please.
I feel short.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah.
they're like, are you short yet? Which means I just feel, and I physically feel in my body that I'm short. I don't know how to explain it. But when the energy is very dense and thick like that and compressed like that, I feel like I'm about 3 feet tall walking along.
It's a thing. It is.
Yeah.
And so when you get that, what does that let you know about the space sometimes?
Just
All
that
the
the
time.
space needs to breathe. That we need that there's something needs to open up in that space. Some of that energy needs to be moved because it's thick, it's heavy. Sometimes it's structural. Sometimes it's structural in the building, and there are some really simple fixes to it. You don't have to. Oh, see, Michelle feels short too, so that's a very that's a thing. I'm glad.
Yeah. No, that's a thing.
Yeah,
It definitely
Michael.
only a foot shorter than usual. Well, apparently like 2.5 feet if she's 3, right? I'm 3 feet high.
Yeah, you just go.
I agree. Sometimes I've been in some weird buildings before, and people are like, "Oh, what's the energy? It's spooky up here." I'm like, maybe it is, but I'm aware of like the ceiling's about to crash down. Like you need to
Right?
fix that beam, and it's just kind of the energy's just not right. And sometimes it's a physicality.
Right. It's a structural thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not always. So that's one thing about paranormal investigating that really got to me was that I would always look at those things. I'm very boring when I go into buildings. I promise you.
No,
Me,
it's great.
me and Michael laugh about this because I say I'm boring because I look at the practical things. I look at the energy and how the energy is moving and the location, even go as far as to the way things are arranged in a room. It can affect the energy, the items in the room, like the way a room is built. Is it upstairs? Is it downstairs? Like all of these different things can affect the way that the energy moves through and or collects in a room. And so I look at those things, and that is boring to people because
No,
that's
it's
not what
not.
they want to hear. So
I think people sensationalize a lot of things about this work sometimes, and sometimes what we get is really fascinating. When we share, we go, "Oh, that's really interesting."
Right.
But like when you're sizing things up, it can be a very cerebral process with some aspects of energy, and I do. Like with investigations, I feel like it can lean more towards that sometimes. And that makes sense. I think it's a sign of being a good investigator, rather than making a spectacle of it. Could be this, it could be that. No, it's something.
no,
Something.
it usually isn't. Greg, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much.
Jen is one of the most legit intuitive mediums I know of. She's been spot on with readings for my wife, and something with stuff that nobody has known. She's told us about, and wow, what can I say? Wow, that's
Thank
from
you,
Craig
Greg.
Sullivan. I believe it. I believe it. You're very on point, and I've seen you on shows when you hook in. You're just like, I'm here, and right. It seems like the process when it just is what it is. It's not boring to me, but maybe it is when you
Right.
describe the
Yeah.
internal workings, but it's actually incredible. Jennifer was like, once in a while, it's electric, the energy within a space, and in
Yeah.
a bad way, my mini hairs stand up. And I think that sometimes if it's an old house, there's something wrong with electrical. Sometimes it is that, and sometimes, right, it's not. So what's your experience with electrical energy, if I may ask?
Oh, so that's really interesting. Electrical energy, it can have an effect on us. It really can. So I went into a house. I will tell you, I went into a home one time, and this woman was really struggling. She was hearing noises. There was a lot of things going on that she reported in her house. Well, she happened to have a transformer right outside of her window, and it was making this pitch that you couldn't really hear, but yet you could. I don't know how to explain, right?
Yeah.
The frequency of it was so crazy.
Is it a buzzing or a hiss? Or...
Yeah, kind of a buzzing. She was having headaches. She was feeling like She was getting brain fog. She was just kind of not feeling herself. She was feeling exhausted. So obviously we can't move the transformer, right? Like it's there. But I did attribute a lot of that to the transformer. I really did, because it's right there. Like that is not a natural thing to have right over our home. And it was actually at the corner of her home where she was saying she was feeling the most energy as well. It's when I go in there, I know there's something in there. I don't feel right in there. She was able to do some fixes to get that buzzing sound to go down, which I think helped. But a lot of it's just being aware. Okay, that's what it is.
Yes.
Your house isn't haunted. Yeah, I do agree, Jennifer. I do agree with that. Like there's a lot of different things that can attribute to that. And yes, electricity is one of them.
Yeah. I mean, I know when I first was learning about this work and I just was sensitive within my body, I would touch like a boombox or radio, or I'd not even touch it. My hand would just be around it. And I would be like, that doesn't even feel good.
Right.
Or I could feel the energy from TVs, and I still can do that at times. Like I've really had to stabilize some of my energy dealing with so much technology, because sometimes my body doesn't like it. So yeah, if we have a surge of something, that's really going to affect us.
Yeah, that's a very real thing. When I went back to work, I contract again now, but when I went back to work about 6 months ago, I hadn't been around electronics for a very long time. I mean, other than something like this, but I hadn't been on them as my job for a very, very long time. And suddenly I found myself in front of and surrounded by electronics 10 hours a day, right? Sitting at a desk. Oh my, it was terrible. It was so terrible. Not only were the electronics malfunctioning right and left, I was calling IT all the time. I was calling it. And he would sit there and he would say every time, what is going on? I don't even know what this is. I've never seen anything like this. And we would just giggle. But I would get headaches. I was getting the headaches, and I was getting just not feeling very well. Well, I was sitting around surrounded by these electronics. I was touching them. I was working with them, right? And I just wasn't used to that. So it has a huge, huge effect on us. We go around in our daily lives seemingly unaffected by it because we are so used to it.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, go up to the mountains for a few days, phone free, electronic free, and reset. And I promise you will understand that when I do that, the minute I come back into town, everything is noisy and loud. And I can't, it takes me a minute. I have to acclimate again.
That's real. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We're so conditioned to the normal of what it is, and it's very different. Jennifer says, and she joked before, she's like, how many Jennifers are in here? There's a lot of Jennifers that come to these shows. It's kind of funny. Has anyone ever walked into a place and received a really bad heavy headache? Yes, definitely.
Yes, I have.
You know what that's happened? I want to say this really quick. That's happened even in a positive or an intentionally positive place. Like I've gone into crystal fairs, like where there's just a whole bunch of like rocks and energy, and it's
yeah.
And you can all of a sudden go, oh, my head has pressure on it. It's like the energy. I don't know why a bunch of crystals in one place does that sometimes, but it's moving a bunch of energy, and your body goes, whoa, there's a bunch of energy here.
So I've kind of felt that a little bit at the crystal fairs. Like except mine, I'll kind of get a little bit of a headache, and I'll start to feel like, ew, I just don't feel very good. Then I know it's time to leave.
Yeah, but sometimes it happens when I just smack dab walk in, and I'm like, oh God, there's a lot here. Shake it off a little bit. But right, that's another sign where it's time to leave if you're in a high energy space, and sometimes it's it's positive, but enough's enough, right?
Right. Yeah, even the positive can be a lot.
I live in the country, and town and cities are so loud I can't focus. And she's talking about the sensory processing when we get overwhelmed or how things affect. And I really do. It's a big deal. I think a lot of people, like Jennifer, you're really sensitive to environments. I am in a different way too, but I'm sure we have crossovers where we're getting things exactly the same, even though you have like all these other gifts in the mix with it. And, we're so attuned to not really paying attention to how things are around us and how they affect us. And we just expect things to be in certain, like, oh, there's the oven, that's the chair. It's like, no, why did you put the chair there? Why does the oven have to be there? Does it do anything for you? Like, do you have a memory attached to that? Like it will impress upon you, and objects change you. They do.
Yeah.
Color changes you. That's why people have favorite colors. It makes them feel. And then people think, what, an electronic device won't make us feel and impress us? But just a color will?
No, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So hearts, and it's all frequency. And Courtney says, I believe they hold so much energy, and once we take them out of the earth, crystals, once we take them out of the earth, they are not in their natural spot that they are meant to be. Their energies are probably zooming through the room and bouncing off each other. It's a bunch of fields. It's a bunch of fields. And it's very interesting to even think about it like that. If their fields are content, they just got rocked out of the earth. Jennifer, I would love to have the ability to see auras. Yeah, that is a fun thing to cultivate too. Do you have experiences with that?
I don't actually, I don't see them. I feel them.
Yes.
But I don't look at somebody and see the aura around them. I mean, some people, they say that they do, and that they can physically see it. So what Jennifer's saying, I can't see them or the colors, but I can feel them. Exactly. I can feel it. I know it. I can feel it, but I don't see it as a physical manifestation of color around somebody.
There's many different ways to work.
I know. It kind of would be cool though.
It is cool.
Seeing it.
It is cool. It's that's something that, like, I didn't always have that ability, but I kind of said to spirit and my guides and myself, I want to experience this. And sure enough, just because I wanted to experience it,
right?
They showed me, and I showed myself how. But the main thing is you have to believe that you can see it. So if you're feeling it, if you're already getting the information feeling, you just tell yourself, well, I'm going to see it too, because that's just reality. So I'm going to see this part of reality. And then things start getting really interesting. And
I might have to try it.
Yeah. You have to believe that you're seeing it. And then when you have a moment, you go, instead of going, is this real? You just go, okay, well, I'm observing. I'm still learning, but I'm observing A, B, and C. So you acknowledge everything like it is something that needs to be processed, talked about, and interacted with. And it's not about denying it or kind of going, well, is that really real? Because then you're putting your brain back into the setting of just ignore that. That's probably not a thing. So you have to embrace it. And that doesn't mean we're brainwashing ourselves as we embrace it, but we have to get actually tangible with embracing, oh, well, this and this and this is how interesting. Anyway, it's a passion I have when it comes to the aura and seeing. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, I like that.
Yes. Don't get me started.
So Jennifer, we'll have to try it. And then we'll check back and we'll see how that goes.
Yes, people, it's easier than you'd expect. Let me tell you, it's easier. Once you believe it, it's easier than you expect. Jennifer, so it goes by so fast. I want to make sure that people can find you. So whether they want a reading or there's a class or event going on, what's the best way to find you?
So the best way, so I do have a Facebook group, a private Facebook group, Jennifer Lee Psychic Medium. I also have a public page, and my public page really sucks. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm working on it. I haven't done a lot there. Excuse me, but I would love it. if you would go there and connect there so that we can keep streaming there. And I'm going to work on growing that page. mediumjlee@gmail.com is the best way to reach me now. Until my website gets up, I'm scheduling old school still. But that is the best way to get a hold of me.
I'm just putting this down here too, because if you type it into Facebook, you will find her. It comes up as a group. So I just wanted to type this out rather than put down the group URL. Absolutely. And you said there are multiple routes with the page. So please, you'll find her. If you put it in to Facebook, you will find her.
Do we have a second to pop Eddie's comment up? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I
was just giggling about this because I was just talking about being burned out about the paranormal investigating, right? So he's saying his apartment security team heard spirit voices on his intercom and they were on walkie-talkies checking the place out. He couldn't tell them what was going on. That's part of the like people don't really want to hear it though. Sometimes they really don't. They don't. And so it makes it, I get it. They want to hear the spirit voices, maybe. I don't know. I just have to giggle about that because I've been there. Where people are so passionate that this is it. Like, this is what's happening, right? And it kind of sucks to be the person that has to come in and debunk it. It really does.
But that, I think that's what you're there to do. You're literally there to debunk. You're literally there to investigate. It's very like, let's look at all the angles. And a lot of teams that I hear about, so I don't go on investigations. I've been a part of some stuff where I've had some experiences, sure. But when I hear about like people who have professionally done it, they will take all their stuff and they will write their findings, and then they'll put with their team, like in a circle, everything that they found, and then they'll read it all together with what they've already written so they can't influence each other. So there's multiple practices of how they don't want to influence each other, or even if they hear the same thing, they won't talk about their perception until afterwards. And that probably doesn't sound fun to people because they want to all be like, what was that? And oh my God, we got something. And it's honestly, a good team seems like if they're very, very focused, it's not as much like that.
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
So back to what you were saying. Yes, those are the best places to find me. I did find somebody to help me with my website. So that's going to be up and running very soon. I'm super excited about that. And if you're local, you can find me at the adult store on Saturday.
What a way to go out. What a way to invite people to come find you. It's fantastic. Go ahead.
Whatever. Thank you for having me today, Kelly. And thank you guys. I'm in Utah, Jennifer. I'm in Vernal, Utah, actually. Northeastern Utah. So really don't see anybody on here right now, at least that I can see on the scroll that I know is from here. But right, Michael. So but Michael and I did actually talk about maybe doing just a fun live one of these days with those kind of cards. So just the fun cards, just lighten it up a little bit. So you might be able to catch us doing that one night.
I think that you'll have a good reception on that. That's important to have a little fun within the work.
See, Shannon's there. And I'll see you Saturday, Shannon.
Shannon's in Paul. Well, there you go. See? Hey, we got somebody local.
All right, we got it.
Come on by. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Jennifer. Please check her out through her socials, Jennifer Lee Psychic Medium, her pages and her group. And you will see her on Spiritually Imperfect in just a couple days on Friday with Michael Christopher at 5 p.m. Pacific. that's the new time. So I always give guests the last word. Is there anything that you would like to share through inspiration, whether it is a favorite saying, something that's just coming to you, that you wish to share with everybody before
You know
we
what?
part?
You said it and I said it once, but I'm going to go back to it. I'm going to go back to Ram Dass. We're all just walking each other home, and just to kind of keep that, just to keep that in your awareness. Like everybody on this planet is walking their own journey, and everybody is going through something that we don't always see. So it's just a reminder. It's just a reminder to be compassionate and kind to others as you go about their day, and silently just holding space for those people that need it. We don't have to direct them. We don't have to guide them anywhere. We just need to walk beside them. Also, I got to add something to that. It's okay to let somebody walk beside you as well. We do forget that.
I loved how you talked about that throughout this episode. It's okay to allow someone to be with you. Beautifully said. Thank you so much, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me on, Kelly. I appreciate
Absolutely. You're always welcome. You'll be back for we talked about it. You'll be back for a reading show we'll do. Yes. So that's coming up.
Yes.
So you'll see Jennifer Lee again around these parts. Until then, everybody, please go with love, luck, light, and don't forget to live. I will see you next week. Take care. Bye.